Good afternoon everyone, this is Rahul Sandhu and today I'm going to give you a presentation on my project which is reinforcement learning. Reinforcement learning is an area of machine learning concerned with agents that wants to take actions in an environment so as to maximize the results to get an efficient and cumulative reward. It is one of the three types of learning, like supervised learning, unsupervised learning, and there is third kind of learning, that's reinforcement learning. Reinforcement learning is a type of machine learning that enables us to learn from our errors, and using those errors we can make a make a best result out of make a best result for our problem. Okay, so how it differs from supervised and unsupervised learning is that they both use supervised learning and reinforcement learning. They both using mapping technique. That is, in supervised learning, the feedback provided to the agent is correct set of actions from performing a task, whereas in reinforcement learning, it uses rewards and punishment as to signal for positive and negative behavior. And as compared to unsupervised learning, reinforcement learning is different in terms of goals. While the goal in unsupervised learning is to find similarities and differences between data points, and whereas in reinforcement learning, the goal is to find a suitable action model that would maximize the total cumulative reward of the agent. And as I am using reinforcement learning in solving the games because like these days creating a program that solves a single game is no longer a challenge, and today the real challenge would be to create an agent that can solve multiple tasks. So for that I'm using reinforcement learning to solve a game which is called Sudoku. But first let's see what has reinforcement learning to do with the games. Here, reinforcement learning and games have a common history. On the one side, games are domains that are best for testing reinforcement learning, and on the other side, most of the games, the high-end computer players are using reinforcement learning to solve to get a better result. Here, I have used Python and R for solving Sudoku games using reinforcement learning. Here's my dataset for Sudoku that is like multiple quizzes, and it has multiple quizzes, and it has solutions for those quizzes. Now I am using Jupyter notebook to write my code in Python. Here we are importing necessary libraries to solve our Sudoku, and here rows are like A, B, C, D, E, F, G, H, because it's a 9 by 9 matrix of Sudoku. So I'm using 9 alphabets and 9 numbers, 9 numbers in columns and 9 alphabets in rows. Here defined cross function is like a product of elements in A and elements in B, and row units, column units, and square units, they are all units of squares, like 9 by 9 each. They are like 9, it is like 9 blocks which is like 9 numbers starting from 1 to 9. So this define assign value function is used to define a value or assign a value to a box or a block. Naked pair is a set of two candidates that are exactly same in exactly same squares in a row, block, or a column, and then that naked pair is to solve remove all the possible values that are in a pair, pairs, triples, or quads. And then moving on to grid value, it converts a grid into a dictionary of 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9 for all the empty spaces we have. This grid function is used to convert the grid into a form of a string. Here, after performing all the if and for tasks, the return function will return if there is any empty value or empty space in any box. The value will be 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8 9. The display function display all the value in the form of 2D in our 2D matrix. Then eliminate function, it goes through all the units. If there is a block with the same value, that value will be deleted from all the values of its peers. Like if a block has like one already, there is a one already existing there, so it can write one again, so it will be some other value like 2 3 or 4 or 4 5 6. And then the only choice, the only choice function, it goes through all the units. If there is any unit with a value that can only fit in block, that value will be assigned to that block. And the reduce pair, it rates the eliminate and only choice it rates the only choice value function. If at some point there is a point with no available values, it will return false. If the Sudoku is false, then it will return the Sudoku. If the iteration is running again and again, like for both the functions, the Sudoku will remain same and it will return the function. The search value, it will search for all the values in the box. Like it creates a search tree and solve all the Sudoku by using depth first and search propagation. And the define solve function will solve all the Sudoku. Here the results are like in the first block. There are no similar values in any in this block. Like there are 1 2 3 4 5 6 7 8, and in the other block it says that there are no similar values, and there are no similar values in a column and in a row. You can see that. And here is my code. Let's run this. And let's see this value to 1. Solve it again. Let's see, the values are changed now. Now I've solved this game using R also. Let's see it in RStudio. Let's run this code. Here we have imported all the important libraries, and we have taken the file from my directory. Let's see. All the possible over and if loops to solve the Sudoku game. This function will tell the system dynamic like how much time it took to solve the game, and after it is compiled, then we will be able to see the result for our Sudoku game. We can use this reinforcement learning in solving many games, like a game of chess or a game of Pong, like where we can play with the computer. Like there's like in the game of Pong, there are like two slabs which we use to play. Let's see.